Hey everybody, welcome back to Spaceball. I am your host, editor-in-chief, and founder of GeekSpace, Danny. I am here with sports editor Robert Howard, TNT. He's dynamite.
That was a quick one.
I don't know. You know what? I've never listened to like AC/DC for more than 5 seconds. I don't know how
You
I
don't
remember
really
that
need
song.
to.
I think it was.
You don't really
it
need
was
to.
on a Tony Hawk soundtrack at some point.
That's fair. That's fair. Or Dirty Deeds or whatever. They always put like
Mr.
one.
Deeds, the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Sure. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Sure.
We're here to talk
fine.
about baseball, and baseball is sometimes good. Other weeks, like this week, it's kind of bad. So
Yeah.
we're gonna talk first off about some great plays we saw this week. I'm gonna start because I got the best one. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do both because they're the same play.
Okay.
We had two different game-saving tagouts
no.
at home this week. The first one, August 23rd, Phillies versus the Braves, the final play of the game. The Phillies take the W on a tagout at home that is, frankly, way too fucking close.
Yes.
Yeah, now with the Buster Posey rule, there's a lot of questions about when is a catcher blocking the plate. Basically, the throw was offline, but it was offline, I think, kind of on purpose. It dragged Knapp into the baseline trying to catch it, and then basically he fell on top of the base runner. So people were arguing, is he blocking? Is he allowed to do that?
Were people arguing that?
Mostly Braves fans.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no,
Which-
yeah.
Nobody really understood either, because like I don't think anybody thought about using that strategically to your advantage to like push the catcher down the baseline by throwing it off point on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of what happened, and everybody was like, well, he was reaching for the ball before he was reaching across the baseline before he had the ball. And they were like, well, but he was reaching for the ball. He had nowhere else to go. So then the umps had to talk about it. And they decided that it was a fair tag. So the Phillies got the W, baby.
Hey.
And then the next
Yankees-
day,
I was going to say, yeah.
a different home plate play. Bottom of the second, the Jays versus the Rays had a beautiful tag out at home that was also gonna. I think it would have flipped the lead, but they saved it. They got it. So
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for home plate tagouts. So those are my two highlights.
Yeah, they are insanely good when it comes to. I mean, it's always whenever it's like a down to the wire, especially the Phillies and Braves game.
Yeah.
I remember watching that and being like, "Ooh!" Like
That was absolutely insane.
It's out of your chair shit, honestly. But I would say my plays of the week, one was a really, really great catch and throw to complete it. I got a lot of double plays here this week, but it was Victor Robles catching to straightaway center all the way to the warning track, catches the ball, tosses it to first, and gets the double play from it was actually against the Phillies. I think he tagged up against it was Segura, actually.
Oh, Gene. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I remember that it was a straightaway shot to center. Victor Robles caught it on the warning track and then chucked it to first. I'm pretty sure the Phillies still won that game.
Yeah, we did.
I would say the Phillies have been what?
We're on a 5-game streak.
6. Yeah, yep.
About to make it 6 tonight, baby.
Hey. I mean, they've done 2 weeks in a row that they're Sunday Night Baseball. So,
Yeah.
I mean, my condolences, buddy. But, yeah.
It's not like it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, true.
Like, what, this was going to mess up my schedule? I'm stuck in here. I haven't left this room in 4 months.
I just mean having to deal with Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, that's true. Well,
yeah.
We'll talk. But I hate Alex Rodriguez. I can list 5 players right now who you could have as better commentators. I don't know why they chose him. His voice it's like drilling into my temple. He says dumb shit which I think is something you wanted to bring up on one of your highlights. I don't know if you can technically consider it a highlight, but it's
no,
news.
no. We'll talk about that in a moment. One other play that I thought was kind of. Have you ever heard of the phrase "toot bland"?
Oh yeah, I can't remember the exact phrasing of it, but it's fuck. I know what it is. I can't remember what the anagram is.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, toot bland, for the people who don't know, is kind of like it's always been a thing in baseball, but more or less what it means is it's an acronym for thrown out on the base paths like a nincompoop.
That's it.
There's another one that's called fart slam.
I've never heard that.
That one in particular is fielder allows runner to score like a moron. But like they both rule. They're like two of my favorite like unofficial official stats that fans talk about. And we had a toot bland which also just sounds so funny to me. But where Matt Carpenter grounded for the Cardinals grounded into a 3-5 double play.
I did see this.
Because they thought it was foul, which like I have no idea how Matt Carpenter hit that ball. You grab like it snagged at first, he bobbles it, touches the bag again, and then Yachty is just in the middle of third and home, just running, thinking that it was a foul ball, and then they just catch him out. And I was like, I haven't seen this bad of base running since I was watching the Yankees play today. So like I don't know what even remotely was happening there, but especially from somebody who I have professed as the best catcher in the league,
so
bar
does
none.
This mean that you're admitting that current day, right now at this moment, Yachty is worse than JT?
No, because JT wasn't the one who made that play last Sunday. It was a completely different catcher.
Well, JT's made a million plays.
I will not.
For every play JT hasn't made, he's made 3 more.
Hey man, that's a weird stat, but all right.
And it's not even a real one. I made it up.
Hey man, we got toot bland, fart slam, and that one. We're good.
Yeah.
But that play in particular made me laugh, and finally one that didn't make me laugh and just made me go, oh. All right, face of baseball was Fernando Tatis robbing George Springer of a bloop single. It was about 6 days ago, and my God, like it was Air Tatis. Like he, like you can see. I can't see who I forget who the center fielder was for this game, but. Man, like he had a magnificent jump on that, and also didn't even like either the shift was the reasoning for that, or it had to have been something, because like I swear that bloop didn't seem like it was very long up in the air, and he just went out and just grabbed that bad boy.
Yeah,
and yeah, man, I again. We can't go a week without not mentioning the face of baseball. It just needs to happen. And yeah, those are my highlights that I have for the week.
Well, that's what was funny is I think at the top of this year you and I were arguing about who is sort of the face, the big name in baseball, whether it was Bryce
Judge or Harper
or Judge or Trout. I think it doesn't matter anymore. I think it's Tatis. Mm-hmm. I think that he is. He's our Steph Curry. Like he just like, he's new and he's hot, and it's just like holy shit, like he's coming out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
and I think that's gonna be. I think he's got the star power to keep moving.
That's the thing that I feel with, because like when last year with the Padres, Manny Machado was the big talk of the town. Honestly,
yeah, because he was already a talk of the town when he got there.
Exactly, and Fernando Tatis Jr. that last year was his rookie year, but like he was still going through the motions, making a lot of different, he was still making plays and he was still doing great stuff. But like now this year, especially,
it's just the early adjustment period. It's your rookie.
Oh
year.
yeah, exactly. And even then, like it wasn't he didn't have a bad rookie year by any means. I'm trying to think. He did not win Rookie of the Year last year.
No,
it was a Dodger, wasn't it?
trying to remember who the NL won. I don't think it was a Dodger. Was it?
Let me see.
Scott Kingery, I think, won 2 years ago.
So Yordan Alvarez was absolutely. Oh, it's Pete Alonso. It's Pete Alonso for the Mets, of course.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he broke the rookie record, so like it doesn't. That makes a lot of sense anyway. But yeah, man. I mean, he was. I believe at the very least, I think that he was in the running, but I could be completely off base. Let me see here.
I was wrong about Scott Kingery. He did not win. He was in the running, but didn't clinch it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fernando Tatis was I believe, right behind him. Oh, he finished third in Rookie of the Year voting. It was him. It was Fernando Tatis. It was Pete Alonso, obviously, who won it, and Mike Soroka, who was second with the Braves. Thoughts and prayers to Mike Soroka. He may be a Brave, but I still enjoy watching people pitch. They're pretty cool when they aren't bitches. But yeah, man, I it's gonna be hard pressed to not watch that or not mention Fernando Tatis Jr. because he's leading the league in a majority of things now, and he's just killing it.
If
he's
he would stop being good, we could stop talking about him.
Yeah, but alas,
when
your name is the face of baseball, you got to show up, and he's showing up.
Nino.
That's right.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, Tatis had an amazing, and I think that it's gonna be, I think that's gonna be a poster. That's like an iconic image now.
Oh yeah. Tatis, hopefully, fingers crossed, stays healthy. He's gonna have a long career ahead, and honestly, the Padres might start raking as far as that's. I mean, they already are. They already are for sure. But watching him play is a lot of fun. This year, honestly, I'm kind of rooting if the Yankees don't do what they need to do and win win the World Series or even make it. Like, I mean, I don't have a single clue because there's a million gajillion different injuries. That being said, should we? I would say I could get into that. Do you want to transition into Bronx cheers and jeers?
Do you want to do that first,
Fanatics,
or complain about
Fanatics cheers? Go ahead.
That's fine. Do you want to do that first, or complain about new stuff first?
We can do news.
Yeah. This is hard news. Yeah, I mean, look, let's start off with the biggest one. There's a conspiracy. There's a conspiracy out there to ruin baseball.
It's true.
It comes right from the top.
That's true. It's only from the top. The issue is the top.
It's like that little top layer of mold on cheese.
Yep.
Like if we could just scrape it off, it'd be fine.
Or even just make it into blue cheese. Like I'm not picky, you know.
Just pound it in.
Like at this point, just like make it like I will take anything. I mean, I will take anything. But Manfred is the code name, and that's the operation at that point, and it just needs to be scrapped.
Yeah. Look. So here's the whole situation. We had the unfortunate. We've been dealing with the unfortunate issues between people of color and the police now for, I mean,
longer than this year,
100 years. But
yes,
the in the last several months, there's been demonstrations. Most recently, there was one about a week and a half ago where a man was shot 7 times in the back by a police officer while he was trying to get into his own car. And rightly so, many of the players, especially players of color in the MLB, said, "Hey, we don't really feel right playing tonight."
Just to clarify for listeners, Jacob Blake was the
I didn't say his name. My bad.
And everything.
You're right.
No, I wanted to make sure that was stated because I didn't it could have had anybody being like, "Hey," and it's like yes, absolutely needs to be mentioned, and it was Kenosha police in Wisconsin. Like, anyway, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, it's fine. Thank you for bringing that up. I totally forgot to say his name.
No worry.
And players in the MLB said, we don't feel comfortable playing. We feel like this is more important. We don't need baseball to interrupt the conversation.
Yep.
And so some players started to cancel their night games, and then the next day, most teams canceled all their games. There was a bit of a lag because of the time difference, so players on the West Coast were able to cancel their games in time, whereas some players on the East Coast played. I know the Phillies did play that night.
The Yankees played too. Pretty disappointed in that, but I don't necessarily I don't know. I don't know how it's as a white person who is talking about stuff like this. I feel that it's necessary to mention at that point, but I don't know if it's 100% they just should have stopped playing or they were fine to keep playing. You know what I mean? I think that in general is up to interpretation.
Mm-hmm. And we should say that the idea to boycott games was following suit of the NBA.
Yeah.
They had started because they're in their bubble right now finishing the season, and they had said basically that I think it was the Toronto Raptors, I think, were the first team.
Milwaukee. It was either Toronto Raptors or Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah,
I know that the Milwaukee Bucks made a statement with the entire team, and then they walked out, and then some dumbass was like, "Does this mean you're going to finish the season?" And it was at this point, reporters just get me, man. But anyway, sorry.
But yeah, and so most of the teams canceled their games for the day, and a leaked video came out of. By the way, this is not a PR team deciding to do this. The players voted. If the players voted to continue playing, they continued to play.
Exactly.
But most clubhouses on their own voted to not play. Our wonderful commissioner, Rob Manfred, supposedly... Okay, so let me tell you what the video says. The video is Brodie Van Wagenen, the GM for the Mets, accidentally, in Mets fashion, said this conversation does not leave this room, and somehow streamed himself to the front page of the Mets website.
Three of us here can't leave this room.
Having this conversation that doesn't leave the room.
Yeah.
Saying that Rob Manfred had put in a call saying that he wanted his show of solidarity for the Mets game. They wanted the players to walk off the field and then come back and play an hour later.
They're mulling that over. Baseball's trying to come up with a solution, saying, "Oh, it would be super powerful." Three of us here can't leave this room. They're saying, it would be really great if you just have them all take the field. Then they leave the field, and then they come back and play at 8:10. And I was like, "What? What's it?" Rob. Because job scheduling's gonna be a nightmare. There's so much at stake. And I said, "Jeff, that's not happening.
They're not dealing with reality.
They're not playing, but that's Rob's instinct, and Rob, not exactly what you and I were talking about. At leadership level, he doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. And
That's so...
anyway, so we're waiting. Jeff wants to hear, as soon as we hear from the Marlins, Conforto should, whatever we do, we need to coordinate with the Marlins. So as soon as Conforto hears from Rojas, right? Miguel Rojas?
Yeah.
Yep. 7, either 7:15 or 7:05. He wanted them to come back, like show a demonstration, what have you, and then come back and finish their game.
Yes.
And it's so short-sighted to me, but I feel like that's just me being a broken record at that point when it comes to Manfred in general. It's just asinine. Yeah. There's genuinely no point in doing something like that. And I actually just I wish that every week, on a scale of how Manfred is compared to Trump, and I don't mean to do that, you know what I mean? I know how that sounds, but you know what I mean? Okay. Every single week, I swear there's a headline where Manfred just said something fucking dumb.
Oh, and you just have to shake your head, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mean for that to sound sensationalized or anything like that.
No. But I get it. But the thing that drives me crazy is this. Remember a month ago when we walked out with Black Lives Matter on the jerseys and it was painted on the pitcher's mound,
Yep.
And it really seemed like for once our sport was going to be in the progressive lane.
Yeah.
And this same motherfucker who's running it is undercutting, even if you don't believe in it politically, he's undercutting players' choices, players voting to not play. Both of the clubhouses, both of them, the Mets and the Marlins, as players, voted not to play. And instead, the fucking commissioner of baseball is like, okay, well, I know that none of you want to play, but what if all of you played instead?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you motherfucker.
Like, it's just not only that, and like, just to clarify, and I know just to say, the statement of Black Lives Matter is not like political. That's the thing that like annoys the shit out of me when it comes to like Manfred and whatnot. And that like and not to say that he's made that statement, you know what I mean? But like after that whole situation, he made a statement saying, over the past 2 days, players on a number of clubs have decided not to play games. I have said both publicly and privately that I respect those decisions and support the need to address social injustice. I have not attempted in any way to prevent players from expressing themselves by not playing, nor have I suggested any alternative form of protest to any club personnel or any player. Any suggestion to the contrary is wrong. That is a statement from MLB Communications PR on August 27th.
I don't believe it.
And I don't believe it either. You know, like they're legitimately like, there's a moment when something like that happens, and it's just like, for me, why would Brodie Van Wagenen lie?
Yeah, he has no reason.
Like, what? That's one thing that gets me. But then this is the statement from the Wilpons. And it's amazing to me, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Statement from Mets chairman of the board, Fred Wilpon, and CEO Fred Wilpon. And he says, I am very stressed and disappointed to learn tonight that our general manager, Brodie Van Wagenen, made disrespectful and inaccurate comments about our commissioner, a longtime close friend of mine. I hold Rob in the highest regard, and in no way are Brodie's remarks reflective of my views or the organization's. Rob continues to be a great leader of the Major League Baseball. I apologize for any harm this incident has caused to Rob. Ugh. Jeff Wilpon, the COO of the Mets, also made a statement stating, to clear any misunderstandings, it was my suggestion to potentially look into playing the game later because of scheduling issues.
What scheduling issues?
Exactly. Like, that's the thing. Like, the thing is, this entire season, and that statement isn't finished, by the way, but this entire season, he, like, we've made a point to do double headers.
Yeah.
And we've made a point to reschedule games that were previously, not possible to be played. So to say scheduling issues, like, the thing is, you guys have already committed, both owners and players have already committed to completing a season. If it's not within 60 games, obviously you'll have to push it back. But regardless of that, you've committed to it. So saying because of scheduling issues doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, and the thing is, look, truth be told, who was playing that night? It was Mets and Marlins, right?
Yes, exactly.
The Phillies and Marlins are already behind 3 games. If the Mets go behind a game, it's not like it ruins the schedule because we're going to have to play 4 more days to make that up anyway.
Exactly. Like, the thing is, there's a lot of different teams that can, like, the thing is, the Mets had last week where they obviously we didn't have baseball for the Yankees and the Mets the past weekend, like last weekend. So that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense as far as like an idea for the scheduling, but like, you're already playing those. You're playing those this weekend. You're playing 5 games within 3 days.
Well,
like,
here's the thing that drives me nuts is like, and you're right, like, Black Lives Matter shouldn't be a political statement. But the reason I said political is because it's clear to me, assuming the official story isn't true and that it was Jeff Wilpon, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
the
yeah,
Wilpons. First of all,
Agreed.
It's not true. What's happening is the Wilpons are falling, as you said, falling on the sword because they're not planning on keeping the Mets anyway. They're selling them. So why let Manfred get in trouble, their best friend and marionette? Why would they let him get in trouble when they could easily take the blame and they're selling the team in like a month anyway? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's just like Brodie, or rather Jeff Wilpon finishes the statement saying Brodie's misunderstanding of a private conversation was and is inexcusable. We fully respect our players and the Marlins
dare
players'
you.
decision to not play tonight and appreciate the sincerity of those who wish to draw attention to social injustices and racial inequalities that must be addressed. The entire Mets organization remains committed to creating meaningful change in our society. A funny thing about this statement, they spelled Brody's name wrong multiple different times.
Yeah, I saw that.
They spell it right at the beginning, Brody Van Wagenen, and then the rest of it is Brodys, or Brody, and it's like,
well,
did you not proofread at that point? Like,
the reason I was saying politically is because clearly, even if Black Lives Matter really is a humanitarian statement, it shouldn't be inherently political. Our commissioner clearly views everything about it politically. He's using it either to score points or I hate the phrase virtue signal, but like that's what it is. Like he doesn't believe in any of this shit.
Yeah.
Like
I know what you mean though. I know what you're meaning, and that like we both don't believe and know that this is not a political statement.
But he's using it as a political calculus.
Exactly.
And it's like because clearly he doesn't want to actually invest in it. He can't spend one day of games to fucking like, dude, fuck you. God.
Yes. Yeah. It's just where's the gotta settle down. We gotta
I lost it. I'll make a new one for next week.
It's just like I completely agree. I think that in general it's just Manfred doesn't get any of this, and it's just an exact thing. Like this past week when he was asked like what is your definition of a successful 2020 baseball season, and he said when the trophy is handed over to one lucky owner. like just to absolutely put the icing on the cake as far as like who Manfred works for.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I can't believe that I am missing Bud Selig, but like I am missing Bud Selig.
Yeah, so somebody said it really makes you crave mediocrity.
Yeah, and it's like it's such a like parallel between a lot of different things within the world where it's just like, man, you know, like this leader sucks, but like I would probably go back to going with that guy as opposed to this one, and it's just
it's really insane. It's like Manfred isn't a commissioner. He is
a puppet.
He's a puppet with 30 different hands up his ass.
Yeah.
Like it's just insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of it is just for myself, and I mean I just can't get over the amount of just garbage that like we have to deal with in like him just not like not having a spine when it comes to trying to actually negotiate with people and just listening to players. I'm glad that we have the announcement that the playoffs will be played in a bubble.
Yes.
I believe both in Texas and in California.
Yeah. So, in Houston is what they said. In Houston and Dallas, and then I think that the other league is going to be the LA stadium. It's going to be Angels and Dodgers.
Yeah. Which like wild, because wasn't Houston and isn't LA like still a red state, like a hot spot as far as coronavirus is
not
concerned?
As much.
Okay.
Texas
with schools
really bad.
going back. With schools coming back into play, I don't know, but
well, hopefully a bubble is supposed to mitigate that. But also,
yeah.
I get it because those are kind of the only places where you can have that. Although, I think it would make more sense. I don't know why we didn't do them all in California. Because because it would make sense to make one bubble in the Bay Area because Oakland versus San Francisco is a 30-minute drive.
Yep.
And then to do the other one in LA. And then you also have the NLAL right there. One in each bubble. One's an AL stadium, one's an NL stadium. But
it's just something to where, again, we've discussed this before, but the players being that they kind of wanted to live the rock star athlete life, I feel like that's why we didn't see the bubble earlier.
Yeah.
And with this now, it's just like you now have 16 teams to manage as opposed to the eight that would have been in for each. So I mean, it's cool as far like this is the season to change to like we've discussed this before, and we don't need to necessarily get into a bunch of it, but this is the season to experiment for sure. That being said, that information is just absolutely fucking stupid, and I wish that we would throw that out the door. But speaking of throwing, Lucas Giolito had our first no of the year.
Hell yeah.
And that honest to God,
and it was only 1 out away from a perfect game.
Yeah, I think he just walked. I'm pretty sure he walked one person. But man, it was like I missed that energy. I remember like on my Twitter feed, it was just like Lucas Giolito is like 7. I think I actually messaged you and I put a bunch of asterisks.
Yeah, you did.
I said, I was like, Lucas Giolito is in the middle of a no-hit bid, and then I just made sure to put all the asterisks. But man, very cool. I always love seeing stuff like that. And Lucas Giolito is a rad guy. Anytime you ever hear about him, he's always super nice in any sort of interview. And honestly, like I said, man, I like the White Sox. If it was White Sox Padres, that'd be cool as shit. Like the standings. Like I think I mentioned it to you last week. I don't know if it was on the podcast or just in passing when we were waiting. But the standings for the Central is fucking wild. 21-13, 21-13, 20-15. Like crazy.
I was totally, before you told me that, I was devaluing the Central in my head.
Yep.
I was like really like I was like, yeah, I mean they got I think I said they got the Sox, and I wasn't paying attention to any of the other teams, but they actually have like a better win-loss ratio than I think all but one division.
They literally
a combined win-loss ratio with all the teams.
I think that the Yankees would need to play their makeup games because they're 18-13 right now, as opposed to I would say the Rays have the best record in the AL, and then the Dodgers have the best record in the NL. But yeah, I definitely, and I mean, looking at it, I'm assuming the Central for the NL might be what you might have been thinking of. But
yeah, I mean, I know the NL Central has been struggling a little more. They're still not bad, but the AL Central is powerful.
They have, they have 4 teams that are under 500 as far as the NL Central is concerned.
But as far as NL divisions are concerned, that's pretty normal. I think we had 4 teams in the NL East. We had 4 teams under 500 until 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So yeah, Lucas Giolito, a lot of fun. That last hit, I don't know if you were watching it at the time, but that last
it was like
dude, I was
breaking sweats.
I was legitimately just sitting there just like,
yeah,
oh my god, if you're gonna, and then it was, and plus it was a bang play too. Like you see that, and I thought he was gonna fall over. Like he had a quick jump on it and got the catch, and then we were good. So one thing do you want to mention? I think it was Eloy Jimenez fucking fell over, and I thought that he got injured from celebrating. They had the doctor out there. It was either Eloy Jimenez or the White Sox have a lot. Like, and I mean, I mentioned that in our first podcast. Like the White Sox have a lot of talent.
Yeah. They do.
But I think it was Luis Robert or Eloy Jimenez, but fell over, and I was just like, oh my god, if you're gonna tell me that is what happened, and like after celebrating, like, oof, that's a rough break.
By the way,
and
I'll talk about Kutch has the greatest celebrations of all time.
I saw.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it. And last, we're just gonna talk about. So I suppose we could talk about this for a little bit. Broadcasters, I would say, as far as different, like how it feels to watch broadcasts like the Yes Network or like Philadelphia's broadcast compared to stuff like Fox or stuff like ESPN. And I will let you start.
I think that you lose something with national broadcasts. I'm not saying they're always bad. I actually really like. This is different. I prefer small. I prefer bigger market broadcasts for football, and I prefer smaller market broadcasts for baseball, because there is something like, I'm biased. NBC Sports Philadelphia has a great broadcast team, but it's because they know every little thing about all the players, and it's like when you watch Fox, when you watch ESPN, I can't blame them, because it's like these guys don't have a market the same way. They have to cover 30 teams, 30 players on every team. It's tough, like, and they're being fed this stuff live. It's really difficult to do that. However, I think that the quality of them, being that they are they frankly are way more expensive, and they have the money, the quality of broadcasters needs to be upped. I am so fucking tired of the level, specifically, as we talked about a little bit about before we started. Sunday Night Baseball is driving me fucking crazy.
I will say, I do enjoy Matt Vasgersian. I don't think...
Vasgersian, I don't mind.
Yeah.
And it's only because I think he's been in the broadcast game so long that he is cut out of his bullshit.
Yep.
He's done.
Yep.
This man had to deal with Vince McMahon. He's already moved past it. There's nothing.
That is very
true.
You listen. One Manfred, I would say, is still better than a Vince McMahon.
I would take 3 Manfreds over Vince McMahon.
Oh, dude, 100%, 100%. There's no fucking way that you could ever catch me being like.
Imagine if we got cheerleaders and
XLB.
Rob oh my God, was I talking to you about that?
No, I just thought of it.
No, I said that we should. I was talking to somebody that we should have an XFL equivalent called the MLX.
Oh my God.
And it was like, and I was like, can you imagine Rob Manfred calling whoever Fox Sports and being like, zoom in on those titties?
Like, oh man, I like, and I also, it's weird, but like, I also, this is like super, like it was very superficial, but like, I also enjoy the Santa Maria whenever I hear that from Matt Vasgersian. It's always fun. It's like a little catchphrase or something like that. As always, it gives you some sort of personality.
I think,
whereas like when I watch stuff, and I'm not one of these people who like fucking hates Joe Buck. I don't care for John Smoltz, but I'm not somebody who like hates Joe Buck, but I swear that dude just doesn't want to be there half the time when he's broadcasting something.
That's fair.
And I mean, especially nowadays, I can't really blame him if he didn't want to be there. But like, it's just something to where I feel like I feel like there's, like you said, like I think there's something lost, because like I get more excited when I'm watching oh my God, when I'm watching like Michael Kay or David Cohn or Paul O'Neill talking about baseball, as opposed to just like Matt Vasgersian and Alex Rodriguez. I don't hate Alex Rodriguez, but he says a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah, Freddie's a big hugger.
He likes hugs.
He's a big contact guy, so the 6 feet thing's got to be driving him nuts.
Mentally challenged.
Yeah, I think that
being the Freddie Freeman,
look, here's the thing. I think that the best players don't always make the best casters. Like I would say the same thing about like Derek Jeter. I think Derek Jeter is clearly one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
Yeah. He
doesn't have the personality for camera, and he's smart enough to admit it.
Yeah. That's why he made a paper, like a website, as opposed to going on like the Players Tribune, as opposed to going on to like live broadcasting.
Yeah, he's done live broadcasting like twice, and it was always like for stuff that was unrelated. I remember he went on Squawk Box or something one time, and he was like clearly like because it was him and Alex, and it was and they were just like,
oh, I heard about that.
It was so awkward.
Jeter fucking hated it. I recall
he clearly didn't want to talk the whole time.
Well, the thing is, Jeter also, for a quick little background as a Yankees fan, Jeter fucking hates A-Rod.
Yeah.
So, like, at least as far as, like, that's my understanding as far as that's concerned. Like, sure, A-Rod got him his, like, 5th ring or whatever, but, like, he still, like, doesn't, and like, argue all you want about, like, we won't necessarily get into the 2009 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees weren't winning that World Series without A-Rod. That's a 100% fact. But it's just so funny to me to hear, like, Jeter fucking hates A-Rod, but, like, it's like, at that point, how can you not?
Sure.
But anyway.
But I was gonna say is the thing is, like, Derek Jeter's not one of those guys who's gonna pretend. He's
no.
like he's
no. He doesn't need to.
Yeah, and it was very clear he didn't want to be there, and so that's like, you know, I think that A-Rod is really good at pretending, but I don't think he's good at not pretending. Like, when I want him to talk about the game in ways that I think are actually interesting, when I want him to give me real, not just like things he's being fed, like, well, this guy has this much stuff and whatever. Like, I can't trust him to make really interesting analysis of a game in a way that like that other people wouldn't give me, like something that only he would tell me. I feel like he's not good at that, and frankly, it's dead weight.
I think that for me, there are certain moments where he will be in the middle of it, and it's interesting. Like, he has his moments because he will hit beats where it's like, all right, this guy right here, he's going to like I think it was Rafael Devers. He's like, you're right now, it's a 2-2 count. You're gonna see this, and he's gonna need to make a play on it. And he was right. Like, that's like he predicted it. He knew exactly what was coming, and like that's the thing is that like, people can kid themselves all they want. Alex Rodriguez knows baseball.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's people don't hate A-Rod for that. People hate A-Rod because of the bullshit that he did when he was a player, as well as he says dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's just it. Like I said, I made the joke. I'm pretty sure I made the joke last week or a couple weeks ago where A-Rod was just like, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. And it's like, that doesn't, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, I already made the nutting joke, but either way, like, it's just, that stuff is where I need A-Rod to fucking stop, and that's where I, like, I would actually, I disagree somewhat in that, like, if his commentary was just analysis, or just, like, this is me in the game, this is what happens, I think that I would prefer it, but he also tries to make, like, calls that are like the A-Rod one, or like the Freddie Freeman, or excuse me, the Aaron Judge one, or the Freddie Freeman one. Like, just,
I just feel like it's one of those things where he isn't naturally charismatic like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
He somehow is the person who's most bent toward that on the team. So here's an example. I really liked when Pete Rose was casting. Because he is a piece of trash. Like, as a human, he's kind of a scumbag. But he has that sort of natural playfulness that, like, he's not going to give me nearly as much analytics as anybody else either. But I think he had the same amount of, like, well, in this situation as a player, you'd want to do this and that Alex does. But Pete Rose is actually a pretty funny dude. And so... And often the joke is on him. But
good dude got tombstoned on like multiple WrestleManias. Yeah. Like, he knows he's the butt of the joke.
But that's the thing is, like, he would show up and he would say, you know, he would make a joke and it would actually land, or like, and it was because he wasn't trying too hard.
Yeah.
And I think A-Rod tries really hard to be cool.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And looking at, like, but the thing is, at the same time, I think that A-Rod also knows that he isn't, which is a weird thing to say, but, like,
as like a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, watching his, like, I don't know if he'll go into the Hall of Fame, but watching his, like, video, like, because I follow a lot of sports personalities, and sometimes people will retweet A-Rod, and he'll do, like, dumb, corny shit with J-Lo and his kids.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, he very clearly knows that he has zero rhythm and he's a dork. So, like, cool. But yeah, man, broadcasters in general just need to get more, like, They just need to talk about baseball more. And like sometimes if a game is boring, I understand shit like that. But I think we've talked. I think I've discussed it with you before. But like I was watching forever ago. I used to watch League of Legends, like their esports broadcasts. And one dude, the game was so bad, and the team was getting shit stomped so bad that they just started talking about Attack on Titan. And I was like, I'm not here for this. I don't give a fuck about this.
I think that varies from person to person. Like I said,
it's human.
I watched a Padres cast a couple of weeks ago where they were talking about musicals in between plays, and I thought that was really funny. Yeah, because like it was so bizarre. It was so weird. Mm-hmm. Like I wouldn't have wanted the whole game to be like that, but I don't mind that sort of like, well, nothing is happening. Fuck it. Let's just talk about whatever we want. Like, yeah.
I think that you and I had a discussion about that, and I think that I was on the opposite end.
Yeah.
But in that regard, I should say, just to clarify, if you don't make the entire game about that type of discussion, I don't have an issue with it.
Well, it's like you sent me that one about, or maybe, did you send it to me about?
I think it was the Marlins.
Well, no, it was Three Rivers.
Yes.
Like, that to me is very funny, because it was only like, it was like a minute and a half. Where he was trying to understand why they call it Three Rivers.
No, it wasn't. It was Zed. He didn't realize that Zed was the last letter of the Canadian alphabet.
Oh, that one too. But there was
was in Three Rivers, is what I recall.
Well, there was another one. I think it might be the same guy where he was asking why they call it Three Rivers because it's actually just two rivers.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yep.
And,
I think
and but all of those are like minute snippets of like. Oh, this is so funny. Weird and it's happening like, but like the thing about like those is that they feel natural. And I feel like that's what I'm saying. I feel like some of the ones with Pete Rose where they would happen would feel natural. And I feel like A-Rod does have some natural ones. Like when they asked about the cheating scandal, he goes, I don't know if I'm really supposed to comment on this. That was funny. But like,
because like, and then he went into it. If I recall, he went into it and was like, I was the villain of baseball, and I deserved that title. And I was just like, that was about the Astros, right? Yeah.
And but I just feel like the difference is that like so many of the times that he tries to do it, it doesn't feel natural. It feels weird. It feels forced, and it feels like he's trying to be fun and he's trying to be the cool guy. And like, we don't need that.
Yeah,
just get a cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, if the thing is, it's a little more bearable for me because
you like A-Rod.
No. I don't actually
just admit it. You love him.
I really don't. But like, okay, I mean, I get no. But no, I mean, I think that he got a raw deal at the end of his career with the Yankees, but they. Like at the same time, he kind of did it to himself. So like, what are you gonna do? But I think that, let me see. I think that it's much more bearable than, last year. Oh my God, I cannot remember her name. Do you remember the, hold on. I'm trying to remember her name, but she was Jessica Mendoza. She is no longer there, and that has made it a little more bearable. Because the thing is, she was a former collegiate softball outfielder. Like she knew about baseball, but like ESPN wasn't worried about her talking about baseball. They were worried about her not just not really giving a shit and saying random shit that didn't matter. You know?
Oh, okay.
So,
well,
she also was like working with the Mets or something, and there was like conflict of interest, and then they just like fired her because she said something dumb, pretty dumb, honestly.
That's what I'm looking forward to most is if A-Rod buys the Mets, then
they're out of it.
Oh, damn
it! Just this week after the Wilpon controversy, A-Rod and J-Lo were both just like, yeah, we're not a part of it.
And I was like, if he buys the Mets, he'll stop casting.
Yeah. But he might actually create a really good baseball team, and that's bad for you.
Well, I would be willing to sacrifice it.
All right.
Last thing I was going to say, I also think sportscasters have sports. Joe Buck is 10 times better at football than he is at baseball. Like,
Yep.
I think the rotating, like, hey, you know, we're going to just put everybody on everything kind of thing, that if you're a sports caster or a sports journalist, that you're qualified to talk about every sport. Maybe, but I don't think I don't think it's completely
necessary.
Equal. I don't think it's
Yeah.
equal ground. So I think that I think we should start looking for people. I say we as if it's me. Baseball should start.
I'll get Manfred on the phone.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
So yeah, and Manfred.
A majority of my calls are just drunken voicemails.
Yeah.
But like whatever. What the fuck are you doing?
Send him to prison. I want to see the Astros go.
Good God. Fuck off.
Yeah, I just think that we need to start talking to people, and again, get more former players, but make them like players that are interesting to me. Like, I think that, like, look, I mentioned him too much. Get a dude like Mike Lieberthal. Get a dude like
Nick Swisher?
No, not Nick Swisher. All right, Mike Lieberthal is better than Nick Swisher. I'm gonna take it right there. He's better.
No.
He was the second best catcher in baseball for like 10 years, and he would have been the best had it not been for Mike Piazza.
Who was? So you think that Jorge Posada and Joe Girardi weren't good catchers?
They weren't as good for as long. Anyway, I'm not going to get into this, but Mike Lieberthal is fucking great. But so, like, dudes like that, like, I think that's the interesting thing about, like,
sort of like Trent Dilfer, how like Trent Dilfer
I think Trent
transitioned
Dilfer
to
does
ESPN.
a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And then I think, but guys who were in there who aren't like up their own ass, like, you know, I think that's
Troy Aikman.
Well, yeah, but I think that's the
I
issue
mean, up
with,
their own ass.
yeah, that's the issue with A-Rod, is always, I feel like he does know a lot about baseball, but I feel like he has this sort of like air of arrogance, whereas like
carries himself weird.
Yeah, it's weird, and it doesn't work on TV. Some bases it may work. As the villain of baseball, it definitely works. But like, as a likable TV commentator, it doesn't work. And I think that I think you can find guys out there who, I mean, fuck it, get a guy like Craig Biggio. Like, you know, have people on there who are big names but aren't like also media stars, who aren't married to J-Lo, and like have them come on. Like, that stuff is really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be fine. I think that one thing that I would recommend is just having regional broadcasters, like regional to where like it's not necessarily like somebody who's dedicated to like that particular division or those particular divisions, and have them maybe not even that, just like have somebody who knows specifically what they're doing for this particular Monday night or like Sunday night broadcast, Wednesday night, Tuesday night, etc., and then have them assigned to that, so that they know, like, plus they know like a week in advance, like what else are they going to pay attention to at that point. Again, like David Cone, I was watching the game today, or one of the two games today, and David Cone is literally just like talking about how, like, he watched like 5 games, obviously. Like, he broadcasted the doubleheader on Friday, and then the game yesterday, and then some today, and he was still talking about like Mike Trout and like all these other players just like doing stuff the previous day. And I remember Paul O'Neill was just like, wow, can you believe that, Michael? Like, Michael K. He's like, oh, look at, like, he was like, oh my God. He's like, this guy's had 5 games that he's had to broadcast, and he's still paying attention to the other games in the league. And then Michael K's like, that's David Cone for you.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, of course.
Well, I think the other thing is, like, you could also sub them out. Like, I think that, like, because look, nobody's in person right now, really. Like, so
yeah,
like,
that's very
if
true.
you want to have, you know, your ESPN team, if you want to have your big name person, and then like you know, your Alex Rodriguez, and then your guy who's the sports journalist, you could always bring in that game. If the ESPN Sunday night game is going to be whoever, Oakland A's, you can bring in one of the market people from the Oakland A's to be your stats caster who knows about this stuff and can start conversations, because like 90% of this shit's over the phone anyway.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, for all of this, it's more so about money, and I doubt that Manfred would be like.
Yeah.
I doubt that I doubt that they
this
would
is
be willing to
broadcasters
shell it
too,
out.
though.
More so like ESPN and
Yeah.
Fox is what I mean to say. I didn't mean to say Manfred.
Well, that's what I'm
but-
saying. Hey, get rid of Alex Rodriguez, put in Scott Hatterberg. Put in somebody who's like
I feel like you're just
interesting.
pulling up a million different like names and lists for it.
Whatever. Like, just pick a random person. I don't
Bottom
care.
line, replace A-Rod.
Yeah, replace A-Rod. All right, let's talk about let's do. We're like an hour into this podcast.
Piss missiles. Yeah.
Well, no, we have a Bronx Cheers for next year's. I'll make mine real quick. All right, sorry.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da. All right. Look, Phillies are on a 5-game win streak. I haven't checked the score. We just started our last game in the series against the Braves. We're good. We're getting good. We are tied for second in the season or in the division, and if we win tonight, we'll be solidly second by ourselves, and we will be within 2 games of the Braves. And you know what? Fuck everybody who says we can't do it, because you know what? I know Philadelphia. We will get to the very end, and we will be in the perfect position, and then that's when we'll lose it.
Fair enough.
So we're gonna get to the division championship and then lose it.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yankees still injured, still hurt. DJ LeMahieu came back. Somehow the Mets walked off in Yankee Stadium on Friday night, which was just fucking hilarious. Honestly, you can't really laugh. You can't really do anything else but laugh. They won their game yesterday in a walk-off wild pitch by Dellin Betances. Thanks, buddy. Like the sleeper inside agent. And then today they had a ridiculously awful, sluggish, disgusting, gross, sloppy game. From 1 of 2, a doubleheader against the Mets, and came back from down 2-7 to win 8-7 in the 8th inning. And now they're playing right now, and they are currently tied. So yeah, that's the Yankees in a nutshell. Pitching needs to be better, but it looks like it's sort of getting there. Yeah, that's pretty much the game.
Hey, look. One last thing. Replacing Pivetta in the bullpen. We got Workman and Hembry. So much better. Fuck.
Hey, man.
Look, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get all the way to the end and then fuck up.
I believe in you.
What do we say? I believe in the Phillies' power to throw away something last second.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, now we'll talk about piss missiles of the week.
All
right. I'll start with my AL piss missile of the week, because you know what? It's not the most impressive piss missile, but I got a warm fuzzy feeling. I would like to talk about Yoshio Tsutsugo, who plays for the Rays. Look, he's playing against the Blue Jays. This is August 24th, actually, same day as that crazy home plate tag out. I get a fuzzy feeling whenever a player comes over from Japan or Korea and just fucking destroys it. Because here's the thing. I love the MLB. I'm an MLB guy. I think we have an inflated sense of superiority against these dudes.
Yeah,
like,
I would say so.
And even though Ichiro Suzuki came over when he was old and crushed us, we still believe it. And I don't... Anyway, but he came over and he, in the bottom of the second, just smacked it. Just nailed it against the Blue Jays. And I was like, yeah, Yoshio, yeah. And also when their celebration is that he bows to everybody is on his way back to the dugout, which I thought was awesome.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Yoshio Tsutsugo, you want to come on the podcast? I'll get you and Kyle Finnegan on the same day.
I think that he has a translator, though.
That's fine.
Okay.
Hey, Yoshio Tsutsugo's translator, if you want to hop on by.
It's just him.
It's just a translator.
Doesn't even show up.
You know. And this is his first year, I think. This is his first year in the MLB.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
And his, by the way, his home run was off of a South Korean player, though, which was crazy. It was off of Hyunjin Ryu.
That sounds about right.
So, it was just cool. It was cool. It's a cool moment. So,
yeah.
What's yours? Your AL.
My AL piss missile of the week is just he's a big fish in a little pond. Mike Trout. He came about.
So fucking corny.
I mean, hey, listen, dude, you hated on A-Rod. I figured I'd have to try and out A-Rod. But whenever Mike Trout just decides that a baseball is too fucking close to him, I just get a little excited. Big fan of Big Fly, Mike Trout. Whenever I hear anything like that, like Angels broadcast, always killing it. I feel bad for them because they have to watch the Angels be mediocre aside from Mike Trout, but still cool. Still very cool. He knocked one over the fucking mountains in center field in LA, and God, Mike Trout is just so good. He's just such a great baseball player, and I just love watching him play baseball. Just kills it. But yeah, that would be my AL piss missile of the week.
I would like to correct. I mispronounced his name. I said Yoshio. It's Yoshitomo.
Yoshitomo, yep.
I think I feel like they mispronounced it on broadcast too, because I wrote down what I heard, and also the hit against Hugh and Rio was actually the 24th of July. This is the 24th of August. I was looking at the wrong thing on the stat sheet. This is the one I saw was 24th of August. That hit they were referencing was 24th of July. Look, it's been a rough day.
Sometimes things happen.
My NL piss missile of the week. This one goes to my guy who I've never doubted ever in his life, and I never ever said anything bad about. And
don't watch this podcast.
Look, Scott, you can watch it all because I've always been here before you. I always believed I said a lot of mean things, but I did it to encourage you to hit this walk-off home run the bottom of the 11th, August 28th. Fucking crushed it, baby. You know what? Look, Scott, between you and me, I always knew you were good. Sometimes it's just a little tough love, you know?
You're like the dad that comes back at the end of the movie.
I went out for cigarettes one day. And,
yeah.
And now I'm coming back, and I'm trying to explain
like,
to my son, Scott, why
where you're like, hey, son,
missing.
it's me. Hey, son, it's me. I miss you, buddy. And,
anyway, now that you're rich and famous, can you cut me a check, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm kind of a deadbeat dad. But you know what? What do the Phillies deserve if not a deadbeat dad?
My NL piss missile of the week is going to be earlier this week. I actually think it was 6 days ago. No, it's 3 days ago. Half of that. The Mariners were up on the Padres 7-4, I want to say. 7-4, I believe. It might have even been 7-0. I could be wrong. But either way, mounted a crazy comeback, and then runners on first and third, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th of a doubleheader. 1 ball, or I would say count 1-0, and Will Myers just fucking launches one right off the Western Metal Supply Co. second deck, and this team is special, man. I think that they still have problems, obviously, with their bullpen as well as just pitching in general.
Who doesn't?
But, yeah, I mean, Jesus, I hear you. But Will Myers home run off of, I would say off of the Mariners, off of Ottavilla or Ottavilla. I think it's Ottavilla. Is my NL piss missile of the week. Great fucking shot.
Yeah, it was. It was a good hit.
I'm keeping it going with you know, there's not we're keeping walk-off bombs here in the NL. So
hey, you know what? When every game in the fucking NL seems like it's so goddamn close, there's a lot of walk-off bombs.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Side note, Blue Jays did clinch it against the Orioles.
They won?
Yeah. Keep that win-loss over 500, baby. That's what I like to see. Speaking of win-loss, it's now time for This Is How I Win. Roll clip.
This is my fucking way. This is how I win.
In this game, we pull a random team name out of the hat, and we have to decide how this. We have to explain, give a pitch as to why this team can win it all. So, Bobby, I'll let you go first. You have. You have. Oh, you actually have the Blue Jays. There you go.
Oh, look at that. The Buffalo Blue Jays.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
I dropped it.
All right.
There you go.
Look at that. Okay.
Let me
Fucking.
put 45 seconds on the clock. And tell me whenever you are ready.
Let's just fucking pull up the Jays. No, there was a reason why I did that. Go for it.
All right.
So the Blue Jays actually, at the beginning of the year, I said that they were actually a sleeper pick, and I still kind of mean it. With the Yankees kind of doing shitty, it's definitely possible that the Rays could have sneak in as either the second seed or even a wild card. I believe they have the second half of the wild card right now. With the AL, it's kind of dicey. I think that how they could go all the way is players like Hyunjin Ryu, Daniel Vogelbach. I think that Vlad Guerrero, Vladdy's got a wagon. Vladdy, Bo Bichette, Tanner Roark, Rowdy Tellez, they all are just very good. But honestly, I think that once they get that Lance Lynn.
You cut out. Your microphone cut out. Nope, you're still silent.
I don't know
what to
do.
do. Was it me? Was it a me? There we go. Now
Is
you're
it me
back.
now? Am I super gross and deep?
Nope, you're good.
So you didn't catch the Lance Lynn pick, did you?
No, but your time ran out anyway.
Okay.
But
Technical
look.
difficulties has fucked me again. I like it.
Yeah, come on, dude. Yeah, I'm trying to be professional here.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
All right. Now mine is the Indians.
Just tell Mike Clevenger to cough on everybody.
Oh God. All right, let me pull up the Indians roster. Whoa. My Google just glitched out and turned blue.
My buddy just texted me and said the O's make the big move calling up Mountcastle, who went yard twice in his first game, but also trade away our, quote, ace at the deadline. Are they actually trying to win, or...
No.
No, they're not.
You know what? Some seasons you just got to take the L.
I mean, that's like every season for the Orioles ever since like 2016. So I can't blame him for being upset about that.
Yeah. But also maybe be a fan of a better team. That's all I got to say.
You can't do that. When you've seen the Iron Man play, you got to wait for what you got to wait for.
My dad's favorite baseball player ever is Cal Ripken Jr.
He's in my Mount Rushmore, man.
Dude, he is. He's fucking great. All right, I'm ready.
Oh yeah. All right. Give me just a moment. I was cooking earlier, so I actually used my timer, so we're good to go. As it should be. And go.
Okay, so I think the Indians still have good players that they can utilize. Shane Bieber, still his ERA is 1.35. Zach Plessick, although he's not in right now, his is at 1.29, and most of their rotation is keeping it under 4, which in their division is still pretty good.
Yep. Leading.
And I think that they have good players in their offense. You know, they've got. It's
20.
mostly around the 200s. They got Franmil Reyes. They got Tyler Naquin. They have a lot of decent hitters, and if they can keep the consistency up, then I think that they can still. I think they can pull something out of the hat.
You got 5. You got 5 seconds.
I'm done.
I am so mad at you right now.
Why?
You didn't fucking talk
Did I say
about
that's-
Francisco Lindor. Frankie Lindor, the fucking best player on the Indians.
I mean, not by any real statistics. Not offensively. Look, Lindor's good. But he's just not statistically. Look, who you want to talk about? Franmil Reyes, their DH, has a better batting average. Carlos Santana has a better on-base percentage. Cesar Hernandez has a better batting average.
He's still a better player all around.
Delino DeShields has a better batting average. Lindor,
Bad.
look,
Bad.
Lindor's going to be great. Is that what you want to hear?
No, he's fantastic. That's what I'm telling you.
He's going to be so good. That's what you want to hear, Bobby?
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway. All right. Look. It's now time for our greatest segment, our last segment. WWJD, what would Junior do? The swingman himself. He gets a call from the commissioner.
Yes! Grand slam! Gary Sanchez! Yankees walk it off! Keep going.
Call me Junior. Call me Junior. Call me Junior.
All right,
Call me Junior. Call me Junior. It's showtime.